Okay, so you've been juicing watermelon, honey. What led you into this endeavor?
Well, it's watermelon season.
Yes.
So I've been buying watermelons at the local farmer's market.
Yes, Dave's pumpkin patch.
Yeah. And the one I bought last week was a good flavor, but you know in the flesh of a watermelon, it's like too soft.
Yeah.
You don't, and it's like mushy.
Yeah, you want that a little bit of crunch.
Yeah, you want it to be hard and crisp
al dente.
and crunchy.
Yeah.
So the flavor was good, but we had like I cut it into wedges.
Yeah.
And we had 2 huge Tupperware containers full of it in our fridge.
Yeah, bursting.
Lennox didn't really like it, and he's the main watermelon eater of our family. I also eat a lot. So I was trying to eat it, and I was just like, this isn't good. And I was really enjoying the juice aspect of it. And
yes.
I love watermelon juice.
Yeah.
I've in the past purchased it way overpriced in the grocery store.
Ah.
I haven't bought it in a really long time because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
But I thought I should juice this.
Juice?
And put it in a jar.
Yeah.
And then we won't waste the watermelon.
Yeah.
I'll enjoy drinking it.
Yeah.
Because I was worried Lennox wasn't going to eat any and it was just going to get wasted.
Right.
So I had the brilliant idea to like push it through a strainer.
Right.
Into a bowl.
Yeah.
So you don't get any of the seeds or the chunks of the watermelon.
Yeah.
Flesh. And I did it. And it was fantastic.
Super good.
And then I did it again today because we had so much watermelon to go through. And it's been super refreshing, delicious.
So yummy.
And this mason jar in front of me, I think I could like slap a label on it and take it to a farmer's market and sell it for like $15 a jar.
Oh, yeah. You could be like,
I'm
from the Erewhon store in LA that has the Hailey Bieber smoothie. Yeah, so you have about a third of a mason jar full of watermelon juice.
This is really big too.
Yeah.
I don't know how much is in it. I've been drinking it all day.
It's super good. Super.
Drinking it right now.
Yeah.
But
well, you've been looking forward to these black watermelons.
Yeah.
Like you called Dave's or you messaged them, right? And you were like, when are you going to have the black watermelon?
Yeah. And they finally posted on Facebook that they have them last week. So I went and got one. But something, I don't know if it was too ripe or I don't know what the deal is. I don't know why it was mushy.
Thanks, Dave.
Definitely going to buy it again, though. I'm so glad that I thought of this and I tried it and it works.
Yeah.
It's very exciting. I feel like a pioneer when I'm in our kitchen juicing.
I feel like you get all the benefits. I mean, eating a ice cold watermelon that's sweet and lovely on a hot day is unlike anything other. But I think you get like all the watermelonness. And it's easy to drink, your hands will get sticky. There aren't seeds to deal with. You got a rind to throw away. I enjoy it. I think it's a good time. It's much more convenient.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep doing this.
Yeah, slap a label on there. Go to the farmer's market.
Send Lennox to school with a wagon to sell on the sidewalk to his classmates. He
can wear a straw hat and then have a piece of hay sticking out of his mouth, maybe some denim overalls. So, honey, recently I've come to the idea that we shouldn't drink when the kids aren't home. And what led me to this is that a few months ago, Len broke his wrist. And so he was on a scooter, a ball was involved. We don't know all the ins and outs. But he fell, broke his wrist, and he had a cast. And it was Saturday afternoon, 4-ish, around there. But he called us, and he's like, I'm hurt. Come get me. Come pick me up. Thankfully, he was super close, like a mile away. And we drove over there, scooped him up. It wasn't a big deal. But I thought, if we were drinking, we enjoy the bubbly, frosty beverages, adult cocktails on the weekends. And I thought, if we were drinking, that would have been a bad scene. If Len is further, if he's at another friend's house that's across the way, a couple miles away, that would be bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were where he was. Veer Patel's house is super close. We could have walked there 10 minutes, but if he was further away or in Natomas or whatever, another part of Sacramento, taking Uber there, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
And oop.
Yeah, so we got, like, we weren't drinking that day, so it was
Right.
fine. We went over and picked him up.
Yeah.
And then another thing happened recently where Lennox went camping with his friend.
Yeah.
And I was so paranoid while he was gone.
You were. You couldn't go to sleep.
I couldn't sleep. He was meant to be gone 2 nights.
Yeah.
They were camping at a lake. I thought he was going to drown. I thought he was going to wander off and get lost.
Yeah.
I was so paranoid. I could not sleep. I couldn't relax. And I said, we're not drinking while he's gone. We are not drinking because if something happens, I need to be driving up there to the mountain to get him.
Mountain, honey. It's Folsom Lake. It's about a half hour away. You were on one side of the fence. I was clearly on the other side of the fence. I was like, dude, Ben Wynn's got him. Lincoln's there. There's going to be a lot of family, a lot of Wynns running around. He's fine. It's a lake. He'll be fine. Okay. Naya Rivera was a once in a lifetime. Was that her name?
Yes.
Naya Rivera, the chick from Glee. That doesn't happen very often. But I was like, okay, honey. But so when they're away, no drinking, which is we can still run around naked, right, honey?
Sure.
It's just the booze.
We just got to stay sober. Anything else is fine.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the opposite of what you might imagine. Like,
right.
Normally you wouldn't want to be drinking around children.
Right.
But we're the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when the mice are away, the cat won't play. I think we are responsible, and it's good that they see us being responsible around alcohol. We're not reckless. We're not negligent.
Yeah. Even when they are home, like, we don't go wild.
Oh, yeah. When they're not home, we don't go wild.
That's true. Okay. We don't do anything when they're not home.
Yeah. But it just makes sense that if we're needed, and the thought was always in the back of my mind. Thankfully, nothing ever happened when we did do drink here and there, and we only drink once, twice a week. Okay, 3 times, once every few months. Slips into Sunday, strictly to weekends, and we always make sure we're done with tasks and errands and chores and all that. But we just got to be ready at the ready. And I don't, if something happens, we need to be there. And so we will stay sober. Boo to sobriety. So honey, breaking news, homeless Jesus's van is gone.
Yes.
And oop.
So if you're just joining us, homeless Jesus is our local unhoused person, and he drives/stays in it's a 70s, 80s Volkswagen kind of van. Camper.
Something you might see at Woodstock.
Yeah, something you might see at Woodstock. And it's been parked at the same spot for almost 2 years on a residential street, but it's on the side of our condo complex. It's not in front of the single family homes. So I think that's how he skirts the law. Like, he's not actually in front of a home. He's in front of a bunch of condos where guests come and go, and there's random cars there sometimes, all the time. And then about a week ago, he got a notice, like an orange piece of paper on his windshield that we noticed, and telling him to skedaddle. Finally, no offense, HJ, and then the notice was gone, and the van stayed there. So I was like, okay, he's gonna ignore it, which okay. But lo and behold, 72 hours later, van's gone, and we haven't seen it for 4 or 5 days now.
Yeah, why do you think he didn't just pull it around the corner? Like, it's nowhere in the neighborhood to be seen.
Yeah.
So it's gone.
Yeah. Because it's a bunch of houses, and that's a whole different ballgame, parking in front of someone's home than a bunch of condos.
I wonder where he went.
Yeah.
Keeps me up at night.
Just like Lennox. Maybe he's at Folsom Lake with Ben Wynn and Lincoln Wynn. Well, I wonder. I gotta be honest. I kind of miss him. Like he was a local institution, an attraction, a sight to see,
a friendly face on the streets.
Yeah, a stalwart in our community. I wonder where he is. I wonder if he's gonna come back. I wonder if he went to an apartment complex, to another. I don't think there's other condos in West Sac, but HJ. We miss you, Brew. Come back, Brew. What I didn't mean anything I said. And then speaking of homeless people, honey. So Frankie liked to hang out in our downstairs closet. On like my/your guitar case was just strewn about on the floor in the downstairs closet, and Frankie began like hanging out there. Like we would just find him there randomly and he'd be there for 8, 10, 12 hours just sitting there by himself as dumb cats do. But it was dang adorable.
He was happy. He liked it.
Yeah. And he would hang out there. But then recently you picked up the guitar case and moved it to another part of the closet.
Well, I was down there. I was tidying things up.
Yeah.
And it's been bugging me, honestly, that
the Frankie has a hangout spot?
That the guitar case, it's unzipped.
Yeah.
It's opened. It's just laying on the ground.
It's bedlam.
Even though it's inside a closet, I don't like the thought of that, it not being orderly down there.
Yeah.
So I zipped it up. I put it up where he can't lay on it.
Yeah.
And he has not gone in the closet since.
Yeah. You're like those heartless Republicans tearing down homeless encampments, honey. Where are they gonna go? Where are they gonna go? They need help. Well, surprise, honey, breaking news to you. Big revelation here. I unzipped the case, the guitar case again, and I put it down on the ground. Because I miss him hanging out there. That was his spot when we're all up here doing our thing. That's his little dark spot.
He goes there to get away.
Yeah.
Be alone.
Yeah, to stare at the wall and have no thoughts.
Did you take him downstairs to show him?
I have not.
Oh.
I'm hoping he'll discover it. Although maybe he won't go back down. I will take him.
You must.
I will take him down there. So we were at Grocery Outlet Bargain Market. And,
Sorry.
Is that your watermelon juice?
It is.
Is that your $15 watermelon juice? Haley Bieber? So we were at Grocery Outlet Bargain Market. And, listen, there was one checker, one cashier, and she was processing our stuff, checking us out, and there was a queue building up behind us, and I get it. She's like, oh god, stress, I gotta get through this, I gotta get these people moving. And then at one point she said, oh, here are some bags so you can start bagging your food. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, that was really forward.
Excuse me.
I know.
She could have just put the empty bags next to you and, like, give you a hint.
Yeah.
But instead, she was like, come on, start helping out here.
Yeah. Well, do I get a Grocery Outlet Bargain Market vest? Am I on the payroll? But I didn't mind. In the end, I get it. People don't show up, quiet quitting, staffing shortages, blah, blah, blah.
And the longer the queue, the longer you have to wait, the more angry the customers are going to be as they come up.
Yeah. Have you been to like Food Max and Food for Less where you have to bag it yourself?
Yes.
And like they got the two-sided kind of two drive-throughs.
Right.
But even then, sometimes you're like bagging, and they're just waiting for you. It's quite the game. But you know that going in with Gobm, they're supposed to bag it.
But supposedly at those places, the prices are lower because you're not paying to have your stuff bagged.
Yeah.
That's the line they give you.
Yeah. I get it. But, Gobm, the cashier is the bagger. And
right.
Sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's bad. But her just saying, here's some bags. Get on it, a-hole.
Why don't you stop being lazy?
And then, at the same time when I was loading up our conveyor belt with our groceries, there was a guy behind us, and he does the thing where we've all been there, where you grab way too much stuff and you're kind of, You're like a freaking circus clown trying to balance and juggle all these things.
Your arms are falling asleep and getting numb.
Yeah. And so I felt bad for him because I've been there. We've all been there. But I was like, well, I'm not going to start moving all... Because sometimes you can move all your groceries to the very front, push them so they're super tight, create some room. But I was like, bro, you knew what you were doing. You knew you were getting into. It looks like you can handle yourself. Just keep balancing that stuff. So I lift, honey. I'm really strong. I don't know if you know. I go to our condo gym. And recently there's been a sign put up. And it reads... do not throw weights. Members will be charged for intentional misuse. You are on camera. Okay, first of all, does Kathy Bailey lift? Second of all, I sometimes throw weights, but that's because they're really heavy. Okay?
Well, you drop them.
Yeah.
No one's out here throwing weights, are they? Were there a couple teenagers in there, like, goofing around and... do they have them on camera, like, hurling weights across the room, do you think?
No. I highly doubt it, but I think throwing is more just a metaphor of, like, not placing down. Just another way of saying you're not placing down carefully. Because when you do, like, kind of just... like, well, I'm really strong, honey. I lift heavy weights, and when I'm done to the point of failure, I can't like delicately say, "Oh, it's time to go to bed, Mr. Weight." Do 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 do. No, I have to slam them down on the ground or slam them down on the rack. That I just can't help it. So, but I don't like. I don't know. Like, what do you want me to do? Lift less weights and not be as buff, Kathy Bailey?
Well, that's not a solution.
Yeah, exactly.
Oop.
How can I persuade Kathy Bailey to get the Riva Gym dumbbells that are over 50 pounds? Because right now it goes up to 50 pounds, the selection of dumbbells. And I can do more than that because I'm really strong and I lift. So how can I... But at that price point, 60, 70, 80 pound dumbbells, they're expensive.
How much are they?
They're like over $100 each.
Whoa!
Yeah, they're pricey and they're a pain in the ass. The UPS guy is going to hate you for shipping those, and he's got to carry them. But is there any way I can kind of say, "Hey, Kathy, I need heavier weights. I'll stop throwing weights if you get heavier ones," which really doesn't make sense, but yeah.
You just gotta ask her. Okay. Ask and you might receive. Okay.
Ask and ye shall receive. So, honey. I have an ear hair problem. I'm a real man. We hate body hair in this family, and we have a ton of body hair in this family. Me specifically, I noticed that like not the earlobe. My earlobe is fine.
Your earlobe gets a little furry.
Yeah. Well, the fur is undeniable everywhere, but I noticed that like there, at the little jutting point above the earlobe. There's like rogue black hairs that grow, and it's beyond fuzz, and I could see it, and it drives me nuts. So I have nose hair trimmers. I'm not gonna use like a Mach 3 on them because it's very delicate area. I have nose hair trimmers. Those don't work because while they are like a more robust hair than fur than the fuzz. A nose hair trimmer just can't cut it because they're still soft. So what I end up doing is taking my tweezers and kind of yanking.
Yeah, that's your best option, I think.
It hurts.
Yeah.
Why don't they have an ear hair trimmer, an ear hair tool?
Did you search Temu?
That's good. Good idea. So, honey, I would say. There's a special place in hell for people who don't walk quickly in parking lots, okay? Like, there's people who drive and there's people who walk, and we all need to get along nicely. But when you're crossing the driving lane, you need to walk briskly and go in a straight line. Don't walk in a 20-degree angle, a 30-degree angle, a 60-degree angle. Just go point A to point B, the shortest distance possible. You need to walk straight.
I agree. You got to get out of the driving space as quickly as possible if you're a pedestrian.
Yeah.
You got to move your A.
Yeah. And some people don't, and they lollygag, and they walk at a 30-degree angle. It's like, they're so ignorant. They're so...
I think I was doing this recently, and you roughly course corrected me.
Lovingly
but firmly.
But then I said, look around. This is happening everywhere. These people are causing traffic jams, bumper to bumper traffic. So people just walk straight. I understand you have to cross driving lanes, and I do too. But don't muss around. Don't lollygag. Go straight. Be quick. Don't walk at an angle. And mind where cars are also.
And oop.
So we have a tree outside of our condominium. We're on the second floor. Our living space is on the second floor. And this tree, it's a nice sized tree. But recently there's been birds there in this tree making noises at all hours. And during the day, not a big deal. We can ignore it. We can close the windows. But it's super hot. So overnight, we leave everything open. But these birds, they go nuts, do that.
They go nuts from about midnight to 6 a.m.
Yeah.
I don't hear them in the morning or in the evening before that.
Right.
But it's that chunk of hours during the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And they are so loud.
Yeah.
And they're right outside our bedroom window.
We have to close our slider window. And then sometimes, like, I wake up to pee, I wake up to make coffee, I wake up to get a drink or whatever. I'll check the tree, and I'm like, oh, there's nothing going on. I'm like, cool, I can open the slider window, open it. 15 minutes later, there's the great movie Steel Magnolias. Tom Skerritt plays the dad, and his storyline is that Julie Roberts is getting married at the end of the movie. So they're making all these sort of preparations. And his plot is that there's a giant tree. They're getting married at their house. There's a bunch of birds in there. So Tom Skerritt tries to do all these tactics to get rid of these dumb birds so they don't poop all over the wedding and the guests and stuff. And at one point he uses firecrackers and bows and arrows and guns. So is that what I'm going to be, honey?
That is you already.
Tom Skerritt. I need some firecrackers.
You're halfway there. You just need the ammunition.
I need the bow and arrow. I need the gun. I will do it. Alrighty. Well, are we done, honey?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we're done. Thanks for listening.
And oop. And oop.
Alrighty. Well, that's the end of the program. It's been fun, but not really. Let's all try a little harder next time. Like, comment, subscribe, follow, review, and rate, or don't. Do whatever you want. You're a grown-up. Make your own decisions. Do what's best for your family. Please be sure to use our promo code for Athletic Greens. We don't have a promo code for Athletic Greens. By the way, you used a promo code from Holly Madison.
Yeah.
So she is a former Playboy Playmate. She was on Girls Next Door, that E! show.
Yep.
With the 3 girls and Hugh Hefner. And she has a podcast now because what idiot doesn't have a podcast? But you used her promo code, and we currently have satin, or is it silk?
They're satin pillowcases.
Satin pillowcases.
I got them from kitsch.com.
And you use Holly Madison's promo code. What do you think of satin pillowcases?
I like them. I like the feel of them.
They do stay cool.
They're supposed to help with face wrinkles and like your hair, like your health of your hair.
Uh-huh.
That's like the selling point of them.
Sure. But I do like. At first, I was skeptical. I said, "Give me my cotton. You stay away from my cotton pillowcase." But you switched me out, and I'm like,
they're nice.
That's nice.
And you feel fancy when you use it, don't you?
Do. What's next? Satin sheets. What is this? A Madonna music video, honey? Are we gonna get satin bed sheets and satin blanket, satin curtains?
I hope so.
Alrighty. Goodbye, my podcast friends, my parasocial podcast friends. I love you. My wife and I love you. We hope you have a good day.
And oop.
Today and tomorrow. And sure, I may throw weights in the gym, but I'm still a good person, And we're still good people. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. Thank you for caring. I hope you have a wonderful day/night. Oh, bye.
And oop.
Ooh.
We got chicken.
Is that crispy, juicy tender? I can't eat no longer.
And oop.